Hello and welcome to the NASDAQ market site in Times Square. I'm Jane King, and with me today, Andy Heyward, the CEO and Chairman of Genius Brands International. So we've come a long way. We talked, I guess it was about a year ago, which is amazing. And you had just uplisted to the NASDAQ. And
Yes.
since then, you've got all these really interesting projects underway. So let's start with the closest one, the Llama Mama. That one's coming out. Book I'm familiar with, read to my kids several times. You're going to bring it to the screen.
Yes, thank you, Jane. Well, Llama Mama is based on a series of books that have sold 13 million copies, and we're producing it for Netflix. We're doing 30 episodes. It's been delivered, and it goes on the air January 26th. And like everything that we do, we produce the programs, and then we do the consumer products licensing based on the programs. So when you see the programs, you want to then go get the sleepwear and the books and the apparel and the backpacks and all of the different products. So we do all of the licensing with Llama Llama as well. It's a beautiful, gentle series.
Yeah.
The voice of Mama Llama, the main character, is played by Jennifer Garner.
Okay. It's a fun book to read. It's easy to read to kids. So I assume it'll be fun to bring to the screen as well.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
And then Amazon also. You're working with Amazon.
We're working with Amazon. We have a channel that we launched, which is a SVOD, Subscriber Video On Demand channel with Amazon. It started about a month and a half ago. And
What's the channel called?
The channel is called the Kid Genius Cartoon Channel.
Okay.
And we have a variety of our own programs that go on the channel, and we also license programs from the outside, but it has a very specific profile which distinguishes it from other kids' channels, because there's so many opportunities out there for kids today everywhere.
Oh, sure.
And if you're going to pay for something, then you really need to have something that's distinguished. So the nature of this channel is all about enriched content, content with a purpose. So that means if you watch Warren Buffett's Secret Millionaires Club, you're going to learn something about finance. If you're watching Thomas Edison's lab, you're going to learn things about science.
Okay.
So there's no violence, no negative stereotypes, no inappropriate language, nothing in there that you as a parent would not want your kids seeing. And for the safety of that environment is why it's a pay channel, and why parents are comfortable paying $3.99 a month for subscribing.
Well, it was one thing that Genius Brands really specializes in is educational programming that's also engaging for
Yes,
kids. Yeah.
yes, yeah. It's not always educational, but it's got some enrichment to it.
Yeah.
And it's stuff that you'll always find safe. I produced, I've done about 5,000 half hours of programs over
Wow.
my career. And in the last couple years when we created Genius, everything about Genius is not just another 12 pounds of pastrami. It's what can we do that's going to enrich kids and make their lives better and be positive.
Okay, now you mentioned Warren Buffett. So you've had a long relationship with Buffett and producing he's got that the TV show about teaching kids about finance. So
Yes.
you're producing that too.
Yes, yes. And I've
The
had
Millionaires Club.
Yes, Secret Millionaires Club.
Secret Millionaires, that's right.
And I've had the privilege of producing the movie that opens the annual shareholders meeting every year for the last 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Starring Warren and Charlie Munger.
Yeah.
And they are in animation, and it's always some spoof of pop culture. And one year they could be James Bond, another year he could be Batman and Robin, another year they could be on Dancing with the Stars. And it always integrates back into Warren's companies and some story that relates to the business of Berkshire Hathaway. And it's been a privilege and an honor working with Warren, learning so much as I've been exposed to him over the years.
Oh, sure. And then you also mentioned a Martin Luther King Jr. project that will be out in 2019.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about that. Where are you with that project?
Well, it's based on a project I did 20 years ago that was introducing Martin Luther King Jr. to a new generation of kids and the legacy of the civil rights movement. And a network, which I can't name yet because we haven't announced it yet, came to us and said, we'd like to do an updated story with Dr. King. We're working very closely with Dexter King, his son, who plays the voice of his father, and the King estate. We have all the archive footage from the King estate, the I Have a Dream speech, et cetera, et cetera. And that's one of the things that we're very proud of doing, because I think it's important that kids who were not there, of course,
Sure.
Get exposed to this in a real way and in an accessible way. So we put it in an animated story that tells the true events of the time, and I'm very proud of it.
Okay, so now I have an 8 and a 10-year-old. I know you have children as well. What do you see in terms of viewing habits among the next generation?
Yes. Well, Jane, since you have young kids and I do as well, we've both observed what I call age compression. kids are growing up much faster. In today's world, kids don't start off turning on Saturday morning television like we did when we were growing up. That's a paradigm that doesn't exist today. Every kid today has a smartphone, they have a tablet, they're very computer savvy, they know how to find what they want when they want it. It's a video on demand universe, and they're fluent in all of the new and emerging technologies, and kids have just grown up in I don't know if it's better, but they've grown up faster.
Yeah.
Kids that girls would be watching, playing with Barbies until they were 12 years old 15 years ago. Today, 4 years old, they're done.
Yeah.
Kids play with, now they play with electronic games, they play with music. There's a whole new world and universe of things available for them.
Yeah, and multi-screens. I think if
Oh
there was one headline, it would be they're on this, and the TV is on, and the computer is over here,
And they got the earbuds in their ears, and they're listening
Yeah.
to that, and you got the smartphone in their hand, and they're playing on the game platform, and it's not uncommon. Kids
Right,
are
there's a lot.
multitaskers, and they're very fluent in all of these different formats and platforms.
And there's a lot of sharing too. They're able to get on and do things with their friends.
Yeah.
They can connect on the phone and play on the iPad and
Yeah.
play these games. So,
Yeah.
like, those are some trends that I see, and it's just, it's interesting to kind of
Yeah.
navigate that and
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
how the whole industry
Yeah.
evolves.
Yeah, no, it's been very exciting for us. The industry has evolved. The nature of the people who produce the entertainment for kids has gotten smaller and smaller because there's so much consolidation and aggregation going on. Disney continues to buy and buy more companies that are out there. As you know, they bought DreamWorks. They didn't buy DreamWorks. They bought Lucasfilm, and they bought Pixar, and they bought Marvel.
That's right.
And they continue
now
to
Fox
aggregate their
and-
assets, and now
yeah.
Fox, et cetera, et cetera. So in many regards, we see ourselves as the last oasis in the desert.
Yeah.
We have a catalog of content, which is evergreen, and we also have channels that we run.
Yeah.
So that's a unique asset today.
Very interesting, and I'm going to check out the Amazon channel, so I want my kids to watch it. Thank you, Andy, for
Wonderful.
coming in today.
Jane,
and
thank you.
I hope you come back and update us
My-
on Genius Brands
my privilege.
from time
Thank
to
you.
time. So, and thank you as well for joining us. I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ Market site in Times Square. Have a great day.
Thank you.